If you are a person who struggles with relationships, you're always wondering about your value, you're always wondering what you've done to people, you find yourself always running around circles, always running here and there, trying to find, oh, what did this person, what did this video is for you. And I've come to tell you today to stop it. Stop it. Hi, and welcome back to another interesting episode on Conversations with Debbie. So today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic. And that topic is essentially let them and don't let them. Okay, so you know that concept where people always talk about when people want to do this, that, let them. Yes, that's what we're talking about today. Yeah. So when it comes to relationships, right, I have a principle that I live by. And I did not just randomly pick up that principle. I did not just randomly pick up that idea. It's actually, over time, I learned that for my mental health and for my sanity, that is the best way to handle relationships with people. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you today. That principle is I hold people like this. I keep people here. So if you're here, I'm holding you, you're valuable to me. But at some point you decide that you don't want to be in my space again. The door was never closed. Let them. But if you're going to be in my space, if you're going to be with me, if we're going to be together, we're going to have a relationship, then I say there are certain things you don't do. In that case, don't let them. That's some of what we're going to discuss. So the reason why I came to this conclusion is because number one, I understand that when it comes to people, when it comes to relationships, a lot of things are out of your control. So why people get frustrated, and I'll speak from a case of experience because sometimes I'm still there, sometimes I still struggle, but I used to be full time in that zone. When you struggle a lot in relationships, when you want to control the outcome of those relationships. The only person you can control to a large extent, and I tell you, not all the time, because when, for example, when I mean you can't control yourself or you can't control even yourself, when the body breaks down, when it shuts down, so most of the time you have no control over saying, oh, I insist on. That's how people slump and die, but I digress. So to a large extent, the only person you have full control over is yourself, right? You don't have full control over the next person. Even a lot of parents struggle with this because at some point they have to make peace with the fact that even your child, you don't have full control. You can influence them, but you cannot control them. And it applies to all relationships. You struggle when you try to control how people treat you, how people respond to you, the importance and value people place. And that's where you begin to question your own worth. When you're always running around, trying to please people, trying to appear like the nicest human being they've come across, the best person, you always want to take the award of, the best human being I've ever come across. You see that prize, it exists too. It actually exists, but it rests the power of granting, of choosing and deciding. It rests in the hand of the giver. You, the receiver of such compliments or such prize, you cannot influence it. I mean, at least not genuine. Because I also think that when you go around trying to, relationships are always about trying to portray yourself in a good light. You are not a genuine person. Things should flow naturally. You should do good things and nice things for people you're in a relationship with because you care about them, because they needed it, because they asked for it, or because you feel that they will need it, because you want them to be happy. You don't do things because you want to be seen or be known as a better person. that means you're not a genuine person. That means you're not true to yourself, because what that means over time is you become a very resentful and bitter person deep down, because when you're going extra miles to do these things for people and the energy is not being reciprocated, you begin to feel like you've been cheated. You see why you should hold people like this. So at the end of the day, myself personally, if I might like you, I might like you a lot, I might enjoy the relationship, but the moment I realize that the dynamics has changed and you're not talking to me about it, it's not for you. It's not, I realize it's not my business to fix anything I did not break. It's not for you to fix a relationship that you did not break. You don't go about fixing things you didn't break. If you've offended somebody and you're not aware, it's a different thing if you're aware. If it was very obvious what transpired, if it was very obvious what happened, and you choose to act like you don't know what you did, that's different, okay? If you want to, you need to own up to whatever you've done, and you need to apologize, and you need to fix it. So when you've broken something, it's your responsibility to fix it. So it's not even about not being accountable. It's not even about acting high and mighty. No, it's about knowing your place in people's lives and acting accordingly. In fact, I put it very simply, knowing how people want you to relate with them and respecting their wish. In fact, respecting yourself enough to respect their wish. Okay? So I was saying something about not fixing what you did not break. So yeah, it's a different thing when you don't know what you've done. You just notice that suddenly somebody's acting weird and they're giving you a wrong energy. Personally, in my own life, if you try that with me, you're wasting your time. Because I don't believe in mind games. Like, why should you play with my mind? Why should you play with me like that? I believe if someone has offended, if you've offended me, if I've offended you, it is your responsibility to tell me, hey, this is what you've done. And then when I say, oh, no, I can't apologize on that, then that's different. Then when I've said, oh, no, this is actually what is, then I explain. I mean, that's what relationship is about. Communication. Communicate. But if you're not going to communicate and you're going to play games, withdrawal games, well, I've learned not to be bothered by such people. Such people are, having problems that have nothing to do with you. So if you are a person who struggles with relationships, you're always wondering about your value, you're always wondering what you've done to people, you find yourself always running around circles, always running here and there, trying to find out, what did this person, what that. This video is for you, and I've come to tell you today to stop it. Stop it. It's time to have some self-reflection. It's time to have some auditing. Now, auditing relationships does not necessarily mean that you're cutting people off. You know, that word has been abused. But even people are not supposed to say it. Okay? But it really means, who is this person to me? Like, it's a time where you sit down and you assess some important people in your life. Because I don't believe you sit down and audit relationship you have with your domestic staff, for example. I mean, unless you don't know the meaning of boundaries in the first place. Anyway, so there are some I'm not saying your domestic staffs are not important to you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the people who work for you at home are not important to you. I'm talking about like people you have relationships with, okay? Don't get me wrong. Okay, so I'll continue what I was saying. It's always important to audit relationships. Sometimes a casual friendship is becoming very intense. And at that point, you need to sit down and say, hey, what's happening here? What is this relationship now? Who is this person to me? Who do I want this person to be to me? What is the reality now? What is obtainable? Ideally, what should it be? And how do I respond to this? These are very simple questions to ask yourself to be able to audit relationships, okay? How does this person make me feel? Because a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of self-worth issues, when you really look at it at the core of it, they are tied to people that you are surrounded by. When you're always around people, because mind you, some people you've not done anything to them. It's probably your bots. They don't just like you. They don't like anything about you. They don't like the way you talk. They don't like your voice. They don't like your charisma. They don't like the way you live your life. They don't like your choices. They don't like you. Irritate them, and that's fine. Everybody cannot like you. See, at a time in my life, I used to wonder, like, why doesn't this person like me? I'm a nice person. I don't even call people out. I'm so nice. Like, even when you've obviously done what I don't like, I don't call people out. I was so nice to people. I didn't like competition. I was always trying to pet relationships. And I used to wonder, like, why doesn't this person like me? And this person too, why don't they like me? So I found myself, anytime I meet people, I'm always trying to be liked. And it kept me a bondage and a slave to people, because that's the only thing you get from trying to be liked. You remain at the mercy of other human beings like you, who do not even know the hour of the day today that they will feel pressed. Just people like you, ordinary people like you, who have assumed that they are more important than you, and you accepted it and you allowed it. In such scenarios, there's nothing you can do. Know what you are to that person and act accordingly. I don't believe in trying to force love, force relationships. You cannot force it. You know, these people who feel entitled that you should earn their love. Now, the thing is, when you're dealing with people, you don't focus on them. You focus on yourself. And the question you should be asking yourself is, why should I be the only one, not the one earning, right? It's okay to earn their love, right? But why should I be the only one earning the love? Why don't they know they're supposed to earn my love? So you're out here trying to make me like you. Do you think I like you? Because relationship is a two-way street. I have made up my mind. Then this is how I live my life. I have no business liking people who do not like me. I have no business respecting people who do not respect me. If you don't rate me, I don't rate you. I remember our Lord Jesus said, when you go to share the gospel in whichever city that you're rejected, when you're leaving, dust your sandals. Even the dust, even the sand from their city should not follow you out. Oh yes. Because it's not by force. Even the gospel that saves souls, we're not even supposed to force it on people. So you can't, for the God who made you, for the God who loves you, who adores you, you can't reduce your worth. Know who you are. Know do you know that relationships are investment? Like, for people like me, who, after relating with people for a number of hours, we have to go back and recharge and regroup and get ready again and build our mental strength again. I mean, unless I really like you, with the emphasis on how many times I mentioned really, we have to go back again and regroup. It's a lot of investment. Both parties are investing the time, the love, the loyalty, everything. So when you realize that you're giving to somebody, whilst you might value theirs, they do not value yours. What do? You take it back, because you're giving a lot that is not being appreciated. You take it back. If you're rolling with someone and you realize that, oh, this is where this person doesn't even rate me as much as I rate the person. Actually, this is her. Men, and there's no hard feelings. No. The problem is when you start to beef people because they didn't take you as seriously as you took them. Therein lies the problem. And at that point, you should remember, it's not them. The problem is you. You are the problem. If you're beefing somebody because you rated them 10 and they rated you 2, and you're offended. When did you people have any conversation and an agreement where you said, if I rate you 2, you must rate me 2? No, they don't owe you that. That is why you should learn to hold people like this. Let them have people do what they'd rather do, so that you will know what they would rather do, and then you will act accordingly. That is the only way to stay sane in relationships. And I don't care what that relationship is. Let people be. Stop trying to create an image of yourself that is acceptable. No, let people know you for you. And let them learn to live with you for who you are. The same way you are learning to live with them for who they are. And this is not to support bad behavior. This is not to say, oh, go ahead and be crude. Go ahead and be rash, offend people, act high and mighty, and never apologize when you are wrong. No. This is when you're just being you. You're not offending anybody. You're just living. You have your rules, the rules you live by, the way you do your things. Let people learn to live with you the way you are. The way, and these things are shown with actions. Boundaries are enforced with actions, because a relationship where there is no boundary, one person is always very bitter. The best marriages, the best relationships, the most lasting ones, both parties are aware of boundaries and they respect it. That's what brings about mutual likeness and mutual love. And then when you're dealing with people who you don't know what you've done to them, and please let them know that some people don't just, it's probably what they heard about you. It's probably something you said and the impression they have about you. It's probably whatever it is. If they're not coming to meet you, if they're not walking up to you to talk to you about it, then you have no business fixing what you did not break. Let them. But if they're going to stay, if they're your friends, if they're going to be in your life, then know what not to let. Don't let them cross their boundaries. Have people know that you have boundaries and that you're standing on it. Because if you're going to respect their boundaries, right? It's not fair, because some people think that when you respect their boundaries, you are scared of them. It's not fair. It's self-respect that is giving respect to other people. I have enough respect for myself. I respect myself so much that I will not knowingly cross your boundaries. Right? And I expect same energy. And where you will not, I will do the honors of letting you know what my boundaries are. Do you get? And that's the rule. That's how to stay sane with people. If you don't have this mental strength, if you don't know this, you're going to leave important things. You're going to leave your dreams you're chasing. You're going to leave your important deadlines. You're going to leave people who actually love you. You're going to leave your future. You're going to leave very important things and be running after people who don't even know where they're headed in life. So, I leave you with this message this week. Let them. Just remember this and always try to put this picture like this. Let them. And if you've liked this video, if this video has been impactful, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe. Until I come your way next time. Bye.